Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. I'm here at Jaques Station taking a look at the community goals here. Now these two are to get the station up and working again. It's in a state of disrepair and these should actually get it all fixed. Now after this there should be a bunch more community goals which will expand this colony or create a colony out here, in effect making this a new inhabited area of space. And now I personally think this is absolutely wonderful opportunity. It's a very different looking area of space to anything we're actually used to back in the current inhabited bubble. So if we can get some bases out here and some more stations, then I think we're going to be in for a treat in terms of our local environment. So with that in mind, I wanted to take a brief tour of some of the systems around here, just to have a look at just how different the environments can actually look. So right here, we're at Jaques Station. You can see we're just outside the purple nebula there. But now we're going to go and head deep inside that nebula to see what it looks like in there. Immediately, you can see that the star field is much denser than it is back home. The stars here, getting close to the galactic core, actually increase in number and they're much closer together than anything you'll see back home. Beyond that, upon initial jumping into a system, things will generally look very similar, but as you move away from the local star, you'll see the local nebula start to fade in. Now the colours of that nebula can be fairly subtle if you're close to the local light source, but as you move away from that, you'll notice the contrast and saturation of those colours actually increase quite dramatically. Many of my earlier videos were heavily focused on exploration, and I still like that to this day. So it's pretty exciting to me to find that all manner of playstyles, from combat to trading to mining, are going to be available in areas like this. Sagittarius A, the massive black hole at the centre of the galaxy, is around about 10,000 light years from this location. And that's not too far if you don't mind a little bit of travelling. You're about to go there and back within a few play sessions. But if all you want to do is check out the cluster at the centre of the galaxy itself, you'll be able to do that in just a few thousand light years. Now as you get to the dark side of the planets here, the ambience of the light actually picks right up. Just look how vivid the nebula is here. Now what's interesting about this particular style of nebula is that it has a multitude of colours. One side is vivid purple that you saw there, another side is actually very dark, quite black, we'll get to that in a bit, and on another side it's vivid orange and reds. And all you need to do to experience these wide range of areas is travel a mere few light years, in some cases as much as 1.5 light year to the next star. My hope is that when the bases are up and running here, when Jaques Station is working again, there should be a shipyard, and if so, we should be able to get out here with Sidewinders, Eagles and some of the other very small ships. And even with their very low jump ranges, it's going to be possible to visit many stars indeed. In fact, there's so many stars around here that right from the start there's going to be a whole new range of areas for pristine discoveries. Location then to get your commander's name actually tagged on. Personally, I'm also quite sure that this area of space is going to play a central focus in the next upcoming patch, patch 2.2, called The Guardians. The Guardians, at least in part, is going to focus on passenger missions as well as ship-launched fighters. Now it makes sense that passengers are going to want to be transported out to this particular location and perhaps back again. And that will mean that there should need to be a network of ships travelling back and forth between the two inhabited areas. Now, how fast this region actually grows in terms of population is something that remains to be seen. It might simply depend on the number of community goals that Frontier are willing to put down here, but what I'm hoping for ultimately is that eventually expansion into neighbouring systems will be something that can happen automatically. That is something Frontier have spoken about in the past. Who knows, maybe eventually it'll still be a possibility. And we do know, of course, that Nebula seem to be a central location for alien activity, and in fact Frontier have actually confirmed that. The problem remains though is that Jaques Station is still a very long way from inhabited space. It's over 20,000 light years, and that represents for many people at least a week's worth of plan just to get out here. But hopefully you can see from the footage I've shown here that it's actually a journey that's well worthwhile. Now I've only visited about 5 different systems to get the footage for this particular video. The systems here really are that varied, and within the neighbourhood are a number of other nebula as well. You can get to 2 other nebula within 1,000 light years, and if you're willing to travel just a little bit further, there are also many other nebula in the region, all in different colours, all in different styles. I will list in the video description the systems I've actually visited in case you want to come here for yourself, but if you're already out this way or if you're on your way, I don't think you're going to find it too difficult to actually find all these gorgeous looking places. Here then is Jaques Nebula from the outside looking in. The station itself lost there somewhere among the multitude of tiny dots. And if one is to turn their attention in the opposite direction, you can see across to the galactic core. And perhaps for many commanders, this is going to become the vista of their new home. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.